A local law to set term limits for elected officials. Be it hereby enacted by the town board of the town of Grand Island as follows. Section 1 amendment of Chapter 70. Chapter 70 of this town code is hereby amended to add Article 3 titled Term Limits to read as follows. 70-11, Purpose, Authority. The town board of the town of Grand Island intends to expand participation in the electoral process and to bring new ideas to the governance of the town of Grand Island. For that purpose, the town board adopts this chapter to limit terms of office for certain elected officials in the town of Grand Island pursuant to New York Municipal Home Rule Law, Section 10(1)(2)(a)(I). 70-12, term limits established. No town supervisor of the town of Grand Island shall serve as town supervisor for more than 2 full terms of 4 years each. No town councilman of the town of Grand Island shall serve as town councilman more than 2 full terms of 4 years each. 70-13, completed terms / partial terms / other elected officials. Terms of office fully completed prior to the effective date of this law shall not count against the maximum term limitations established in this article. That's the relevant part of the law. There's some boilerplate language at the end. With that, we will open the floor to public hearing on local law intro number 4 of 2016. If you have any comments, please move to the microphone, state your name and address.
Dean Maracus, 2196 East River Road. I guess I've got to say that I'm chairman of the Grand Island Republican Committee. However, the following is my opinion only and doesn't reflect the opinion of the committee. There's a lot of reasons for term limits. I am for it. Term limits will bring diversity of people, keep fresh ideas and perspective in public offices. You have less corruption. John Adams said, without term limits, every man in power becomes a ravenous beast of prey. You think about, nobody likes to talk about corruption, especially with public officials. But you think about the servicemen that are deployed, very, very few of them cheat on their spouses. And I believe the same is true of public officials. Very, very few of them are corrupt. However, having the term limits will decrease the amount of power that people accumulate and decrease the propensity to engage in corrupt activities. You guys passed a traffic law to prevent something that has never happened, which is injury to pets or people. Okay, you should apply term limits to prevent possible corruption, even though that probably has never happened. I've never heard of it on Grand Island. There's more opportunities for leadership in the communities. Communities have a tendency to thrive when there are more people involved in the community service. Term limits gives more opportunities to individuals to share their talents and ideas for the betterment of the community, state, or national government. There's more options for voters because every 8 years you've got a fresh crop. There's less opportunity to outlast your usefulness. What this means, it keeps a steady, fresh supply of leaders to serve in elected offices. People become stale after a while in their jobs. And this, we've got 3 new people on the council. You guys are all excited, engaged. Nothing about the guys that have been here for a while, but still, there is a difference when you first get a new job and you're all excited about it. There's basically 2 reasons to oppose term limits. One is that there's experience. The notion that only one person incumbent can do a job well is absurd. These aren't my words. Okay, problematically, we continue to elect incumbent because of name recognition and party affiliation rather than proven track record. Realistically, there's usually someone just as qualified to take over the incumbent's office. The founding fathers discussed the need for rotation of office. Okay, the other reason is for institutional knowledge, which is the knowledge that you gain while you're on the job. I'm a member of an organization called Professional Ski Instructors of America. We have the members and elect the board of directors. The board of directors elects the executive council. They don't elect a president. When you're elected vice president, it's a 9-year term. 3 years as vice president, 3 years as president, 3 years as past president. And that past president is an honorary board member and a member of the executive team. All of the elected officials are elected based on community service, and we've got hundreds of people between between all the advisory boards, political committees, the organizations like, Rotary, Lions, Elk, VFW, that do community service. And what I think is that we should establish an advisory committee of past elected officials. In this way, we preserve, make it a required 4-year term, no pay. You're just a past elected official, and you're a volunteer passing on your intellectual or institutional knowledge to the people that are going on. Thank you.
Just for the record, we have not passed any trafficking law yet, just for the record.
Thank you.
Hank Cushing, 216 Timberlake Drive. I support the term limit law as well. I believe that if a person is so intoned to want to provide their inputs to the community, there are several avenues, many avenues in which they can, once they've completed their terms of limit. There's no reason why an ex-official cannot come to meetings, cannot provide his input, and everything is given that opportunity, and I think that that's the best way for us to have new ideas and to breed new grounds. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hank, just real quick, quick question for you. How about in terms of, so it doesn't say consecutive. What if they took one term off and then maybe ran for election again for 2 or 4 years later? What would your opinion be on that?
I still believe they should only have 2 terms.
Total
Total.
terms, okay, because that's how it reads currently.
Paul Cotman, 246 Timberlink. I also support the term limits, and you stole my thunder, Mike, because that was my question, whether it would be consecutive terms. And I do think that, the council and the supervisor, there are many, as this gentleman indicated, many opportunities to serve the community of Grand Island. New council was just, instated of community members to work on things the supervisor perhaps, would envision for the future of Grand Island. So, and all the meetings are open, and certainly input from ex-county officials is, I'm sure, welcome, especially with all their expertise. So I certainly support this. And my question was, if someone served a 4 or 6 year term, and it wasn't consecutive, some other time they could serve another term. I guess that would be okay. But if it's consecutive and you're done, you're done.
That's, the way it reads is, again, shall serve as town supervisor or councilman for more than 2 full terms. So you
Full
get
terms, period.
you could get 8 years as supervisor, 8 years as councilman, so 16 total.
I think what he's asking is say you weren't in office for 4, 6, 8 years, you're gonna decide to come back and rerun for.
There's no
council
safe
seat.
harbor or cure period in the law, as Mike said earlier.
And what's your feeling on that? Like, if someone ran 8 years consecutive and then maybe 5 years or 6 or 8 years later wanted to run again?
I think the term limits as they're set is more than enough, Mike, and if someone wants to continue to serve in a capacity, it doesn't have to be as the supervisor or the town board. There are liaison positions, there are any kind of number of positions on just about any board in Grand Island that would come to someone's expertise, whether it be conservation, planning, finance, whatever. So I think if you want to continue to serve, there's a place for you. So that's
Supervisor advisory board meetings open to the public?
Yeah.
Are they published somewhere?
We can publish them, have we not published them?
Yeah,
that's right.
Advisory board minutes are published on the website.
Yeah.
I think
Advisory are, but what was your question?
supervisor advisory board, is that open to the public?
well, thank you for your time.
Yeah,
So
thank you,
I do
sir.
support that.
Yeah, it is open.
So those are posted.
I've just got a quick question.
Sure, come on.
So let's say somebody serves 4 years as councilman or supervisor, and then takes 4 years off. Their job gets busy, they have kids, whatever, and then they want to come back. They can come back for another 4 years.
Yes, they can.
They just
Or
can't.
actually another 12 years. If they only serve, let's say for example, I quit after 4, I don't run again. I can take 20 years off and come back, run for 4 more as supervisor, and then also run for town council for 8. So yeah. Or town clerk, or town justice.
where there aren't term limits.
That's not
for-
foreshadowing, I'm just saying it's possibilities of those three. All right,
He's gonna run for.
okay, is the floor closed now? Are we closed? Everyone, any other comments out there? Okay. Item number 6,
I'll let I saw him come up.
Oh, sure, is it
I'm
another?
sorry to be so late in the.
No problem.
I was thinking about the circumstances where, one of the members of the, town council moves, and you have a 3-year term left over. You appoint someone to fill that term, so that's 3 years. That's not a full term. They can still run for 2 consecutive.
Correct.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
on-
It says full
So
term.
theoretically, you could have someone run longer under a certain set of circumstances.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think the way it works is, you appoint somebody, and they're appointed until the next November, where they'll have a special election. And at
Correct.
that point, they're elected for the rest of the term, be it 2-3 years, and then they're back on their regular 4-year cycle again.
That's right. Okay, thanks for all of your input. And by the way, I appreciate those who come steadily to these meetings. It makes the meetings a lot more colorful and interesting. And thank you for your comments. And I especially like the quote, "Ravenous beasts of prey." So, especially with all we're talking about lately. So,
Yeah.
so